Presented by Little Bear Produce, bold flavors rooted in Texas tradition. This is the Fresh CrEd, recorded at the 2025 IFPA Foodservice Conference in Monterey, California. Today, what it takes to transform cafeterias into classrooms for healthier living. From K through 12 kids learning to love fresh fruits and vegetables, to parents and communities seeing real change when produce is on the tray, it's about building habits that last a lifetime. School Nutrition Director Jeanne Reilly brings the stories, the strategies, and the proof that investing in children's plates is investing in our future. Stick with us for practical lessons every nutrition director, educator, and community partner can use this year. Jeanne Reilly, let's get into it.
Welcome back, folks. We are here live at the IFPA Foodservice Conference in Monterey, California. Making some great friends here. We have a new one joining us, Jeanne Reilly, right? Director of School Nutrition with Windham.
Windham and Raymond School Department in the state of Maine.
In the state of Maine.
Yeah.
Great state. Love Maine.
Maine is beautiful. I was just in Texas a couple of weeks ago, and you're right. It was hot.
Really?
Yeah, really hot.
What part? Where were we at?
It was in San Antonio.
Well, I love San Antonio.
Yeah, it was
I'm there
hot.
all the time.
It was hot. It was, close to 100 every day. That's too hot for this Mainer.
I bet. Yeah, it gets pretty warm. The funny thing is, folks in San Antonio, and I'll probably catch flack for this, but they call it South Texas, and I live down on the border in McAllen, like 40 miles from the border. So whenever I'm around folks from San Antonio, I make sure to say the real South Texas.
Yeah.
When I describe McAllen. So you're from Maine.
Yes.
Or from Maine? Is that the log cabin story? The log cabin in Maine?
No. Well, and I'm not originally from Maine. I'm originally from New Jersey, but I've lived in Maine for, a very long time.
Yeah. It's so beautiful.
My whole professional career has been in Maine. So.
Although I've only been there in the summer, so I guess
it's beautiful.
I hear the winters are pretty
can be
rough.
Can be. But they're short. It's like, I was on a plane home from San Antonio recently, and I said, "How do you tolerate this heat?" And they said, "It's just like you are in Maine. It's like your winter." So summer in San Antonio is like Maine in the winter. You only go out when you want to go out or when you have to go out.
Yeah.
But Maine in the winter is beautiful. We've got snow. There's skiing. There's, winter hiking, snowshoeing. And it's the in between. It's when the rain comes and washes the snow away in the mud season. That's not very enjoyable.
And having the right gear and appropriately clothed.
Absolutely.
And I know it's easy to say, but I really think there's something as it relates to mind over matter, because I don't know, maybe I'm just fortunate, but I know that when I have to spend extended periods of time outside in the middle of summer, I'm in a different mindset. Like once I know that that's going to happen, I'm just able to deal with it better. And I think cold is the same way.
I think so. And you really do get acclimated to where you are. Like, you get used to that. And all of a sudden, 20 degrees doesn't feel so bad if you've gotten used to it be 20 degrees.
Yeah.
Just like 95 doesn't feel so bad if that's your norm. Your body kind of adjusts to that.
Yeah. I think where I struggle with is all the clothing that's required when it's cold and in a business atmosphere. Like I've had to go places where you're going in and out of office buildings, but you want to be warm when you're not. And then that becomes a whole thing, right? So
the layers, the down coats,
the
hats, the gloves, the boots.
So you're the director of school nutrition. You've obviously been here before.
This is my 4th year.
And you're a long way from home.
Mm-hmm.
What keeps you coming back?
The opportunity to work with other, not just school nutrition professionals, because there's a really core group of committed school nutrition professionals that come here to really learn about innovation and what's exciting in produce and how we can elevate produce through school meals. But also, seeing what's new, like down on the floor this morning, there's like not just broccolini, but there's I'm not going to say it right. Cauliflower leany. I don't know. It's like broccolini, but it's cauliflower. Crinkle cut carrots, carrots that come to you already crinkle cut, you can toss them in olive oil, you can put them on a sheet pan and roast them with some seasoning and call them carrot fries. Things like that. We're getting here at the food service conference, we're getting a window into what's coming down the road for innovation when it comes to produce and how we can strategize and use those products in our school nutrition programs to entice kids to be excited consumers of fresh fruits and vegetables.
And make better
choices. Yeah, it's all about really changing their palates early on. Pre-K, kindergarten, all the way up through high school. But you've got to start young, or they'll turn their noses up at, Brussels sprouts or cauliflower weenie. But if you're getting them excited about fresh fruits and vegetables when they're young, when they're in the primary school years, you're opening their world. I had a really exciting thing happen this year where someone who is a Food Corps service member. So Food Corps is like AmeriCorps. They do service in districts, and Food Corps is food-centered. So she's doing teaching in classrooms, and but we don't have Food Corps in our district. But she was from a neighboring district, and she came to visit, and she was telling me the story that she had gone to primary school in my district, where I'm the director, and she had tried a new fruits and vegetables through the school nutrition program at the age of like 7 or 8, and it changed. Her mother is still talking about how her daughter changed through that experience of trying fresh fruits and vegetables in school and opening her eyes to how delicious, in particular, this was jicama that she had tried, how delicious it was, and how she really it helped to change her attitudes about food, it helped to change their family's attitudes about food. And now this young woman has gone to school, gone through a food and nutrition bachelor's degree program.
Wow.
And now she's working as Food Corps service member and wants to spend her entire career in school nutrition. I mean, it's just like full circle moment for me to hear that something that we've done in school is we're always talking about that. We're feeding the future. We're influencing the future. It was so exciting to actually see it. We don't see that work that
Well,
we
that's
do
got to be very
sometimes.
satisfying.
Some of my staff at the elementary schools will often say, why are we making black bean salad, or why are we serving this, or, why do you keep putting that on the menu? What they can't see is by the time the students are in middle and high school, those items, those very same items, those very same recipes are some of their favorite choices off the salad bar. So even though we're doing it at pre-K, we're doing it in kindergarten and first grade, but by the time they're in 7th, 8th, and 9th grade, they're selecting it and enjoying it, cleaning their plates. It's awesome.
And being more adventurous, I guess. I think from a behavior standpoint, I think that's a big part of it.
I think studies show that when children try foods in schools, they feel safer to try them. Amongst their peers, they're all trying something new. They're all trying that jicama. They're all trying a new yellow kiwi.
Like a tribe mentality almost.
And because their peers are doing, there's a peer pressure element to it. So if you're trying it, I'm going to try it because I'm watching you try it. I don't want someone to say, well, how come you're not trying it? And it all kind of elevates the experience, and I have found that families say to me, my child eats better when they eat whole meals. They won't eat that at home, whatever it is, whether it's fresh asparagus or Brussels sprouts or black bean salad. They won't eat that at home. How do you get my child to eat it? But I think there is a component of peer pressure in a positive way. They're seeing that it's okay. Their friends are eating it. I have a story of some little girls going through the line, and we were serving baked beans, but we're making these baked beans. We're not using canned baked beans. And the kids named the baked bean recipe and they called it Chef Sam's Better Bacon Baked Beans because
Wow, that's a mouthful.
it was our Chef Sam that developed the recipe, and the kids had tasted them and sampled them, and we nudged the recipe to make it, school guideline appropriate. And so the little girl was like, "Oh, I don't like baked beans." And the girl behind her said, "But you gotta try these. These are Chef Sam's baked beans." She tried them. It's just that kids can talk other kids into doing things.
Before parents can, for sure.
Yeah, and then parents will say to me, "This is amazing." All of a sudden, my child is eating roasted broccoli, asparagus, Brussels sprouts, arugula, all of these things. It's great that we are feeding the future. We are really changing food culture from the ground up. And that's what that's kind of the best part of school meals. The best part of school meals is that we're feeding kids. Like, we are making sure that kids are not going hungry. We are making sure that kids are well fed and ready to learn. But the other part of that is we're really changing food culture. We're changing their palates from the youngest ages. Many children come to school and they haven't tried some of the fruits and vegetables that we're allowing them to try. And it's really great to have them experience that in school. And then they take those newfound likes home and say, "Oh, we had curried carrot soup, and we made
They're
it."
challenging their parents.
And
Where have you
they're-
been? Have you not tried curry?
and then the parents are saying, "Can we have that recipe?" And it's really awesome. We're a
Yep.
small district. We're only 3,300 students. It's 2 towns, 3,300 students, 6 schools.
It's a lot of lives to influence.
Yeah, we're serving over 500,000 meals a school year.
Do you have a summer program?
We do not qualify to have a summer program. So to have a summer meals program, you have to have over 50% of your students qualifying for free or reduced price meals. And we are not at that level in my district. So we do not have a summer program. We do have a backpack program. So we're sending backpacks home with shelf-stable food for kids on the weekends. For families who either self-identify and say, we could really use this extra help. But also for families who maybe a teacher or counselor has said, I think this could be helpful.
That's interesting. Going back to the adventurous concept, like kids trying things at school that they might not try at home.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a theory. I've never tested it. I've never looked it up. But I mean, what you just mentioned sort of drives home the concept of autonomy. I know that when my kids were young, my wife made it a point to let them feed themselves as early as they could.
Yeah.
Made a huge mess. Everywhere we went, we were at restaurants picking stuff up off the floor because we felt guilty. But she was the one with the foresight, not me, or, whatever that is that makes a mom do what they do. She would let themselves feed themselves.
Yeah.
And of course that resulted in stuff getting thrown all over the place. But I wonder if there's anything to do with that autonomy of even whether they like the food or not, but the fact that they can feed themselves. Maybe there's
I really think
perception.
so. Just the ability to take and taste as much as you feel safe and comfortable without that pressure. Even at home, a child might fear, the parent saying, "You have to eat it all," or, just negative repercussions that could happen in a home versus in a school. They can take what they want. They can taste what they want. We do a lot of we call them try days or try it Tuesdays, where we might cook up shishito peppers. My chef might come into the cafeteria and cook up some shishito peppers.
It's pretty adventurous.
And give kids one. Here's a shishito pepper. Here's some lemon garlic aioli that we made to go with it, that we're
Wow.
making with yogurt. And
I wish I went to your school.
and the kids really, it's cool, especially if you have a chef there making it, and standing in the cafeteria with a cart, say, "Try them." Kids are,
So it's like a demo.
yeah, like a demo, like when you're at Costco,
Yeah.
and they're serving this and want you to try that because they want you to buy it.
Sure.
We're doing the same thing because we want the kids to taste it. And if Chef Ryan goes in the cafeteria with the, shishito pepper and a little garlic lemon aioli, kids want to try it. And they're a little wary at first, like, so it's going to be hot because they look like hot peppers, but they're not that hot. And kids really enjoy that. And then they go home, tell their parents, we tried this pepper. And if they can't remember the name, we will post on our social media accounts and say, the kids tried these shishito peppers today that came from the local farm and they were delicious. Kids liked them. And it's just really opening their eyes to how delicious fresh fruits and vegetables can be, prepared properly, and really how important they are to health. We talk that it's the big thing right now, the government saying, let's make America healthy again. And we really believe that school meals are a core foundation of what it's going to take to make America healthy again. We believe we have been making America healthy again, and we will continue to make America healthy again by making children healthier, by feeding them healthy school meals.
It's a huge undertaking.
For sure.
It sounds like your district is a shining light in a sea of a lot of maybe dimmer, brighter. It's a huge mix, right? So we've done some work with school districts over the years. I know that the school districts where my kids go to school, I wish were a little bit, sounds like more like yours. Obviously the challenge is getting the kids, at the end of the day, obviously wasting food is not the name of the game, right? So there's got to be a significant amount of pressure on you to make sure that this food is being consumed, or else it just doesn't fiscally make it.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So is there a metric, a success rate of, from a consumption or waste factor that you have to keep an eye on as it relates to, or if the kids don't eat it, they basically go.
I mean, if we're going to menu something new, we often will do it as a try it, as a tasting to let kids sample something first, like our shishito peppers. We did a bulgogi bowl, but we didn't just roll out the bulgogi bowl on the menu and say, here you go, eat this, because we thought kids wouldn't know what it was. But so we went around the cafeteria a couple days prior to it being on the menu with little sample cups of what the bulgogi bowl was going to be. It had fresh bok choy in it and shredded carrots that we had sauteed and ginger rice. And so the kids, first of all, I'm surprised that kids knew what a bulgogi bowl was, because I don't know what a bulgogi bowl was, but the kids knew what it was and they were excited to try it. But trying a sample is safer. They're not making their meal decision and then getting to the table and find out that they don't like it. They're able to try a small sample and say, oh, this is good. Then 2 or 3 days later, when it pops up on the menu, they're willing to invest their meal choice in that item. Same with the shishito peppers.
But I love how you're treating the students like consumers, like customers.
Well, they are our customers. And the whole story about the bulgogi bowl, why kids knew what it was, is because they were their families were getting bulgogi bowl kits in home meal kits, like HelloFresh or
We're trending.
one of those things. Were trending. Yeah, they were getting these kits at home to make bulgogi bowls through like meal delivery kits. And so parents were already making them at home. It's where we got the idea, although I didn't really know. It was my chef's idea. He's like, let's do this. We can do this. And a lot of students already knew what they were. They liked them. Then when we put them on the menu, they were a huge success. And now they're part of our 6-week cycle. So it's a lot of taste testing, garnering responses like, is this worth pursuing? Do we want to continue to do it? We do this. We make our kids have some school gardens. They grow carrot in the school garden. And we do this event where in the cafeteria during class time. So it's classes that come in and we have the kids process the carrots. They peel the carrots, they chop the carrots. We cook the carrots. We make curried carrot soup. So
sounds good.
It's
Never heard of that.
delicious. So they love it. They get to do it all. They get to peel, chop, weigh the carrots, measure everything. They get to saute them. And then the most exciting part is they get to blend it up with an immersion blender. And kids really love that. And they get to sample it. And at the same time, they're also making like a carrot pineapple quinoa muffin. So they're doing these 2 events and they're working with me. They're working with our chef.
What age group would you
This
say is the most?
This is this particular event is 4th and 5th grade. So
It's a
8,
good age.
9, yeah. And if I had put curry carrot soup on the menu, I think most students wouldn't take it. But because they're making it, they're taking the carrots, they're chopping them up, they're seeing what goes into it. Because sometimes that's where the fear factor is. Like, I don't know if I'm going to like that because I don't know what's in it. But they've seen what goes in it because they're putting the broth in, they're putting the onion in, they're putting the curry powder in. They had this whole conversation about what curry powder smells like. They've seen it all. They got to use the cool immersion blender, and then we sample it. And I would say about 85 to 90% of the students like it. And I regularly get another maybe 10 to 15 emails from parents saying, can I have that recipe? Because my kid came home from school talking about this curried carrot soup and I want to make it at home. It's awesome.
You're having a lot of interaction with parents, it sounds like.
I think it's key to have interaction with parents. I think any way that you can build a bridge with families really helps to build trust. And I think there's some element of trust that's really important in school meals. I think parents need to trust that if they send their child to school without a breakfast or without lunch, that they're going to get food that they will consume. No one wants their children to go hungry. No one wants their children to be hungry at school. But they have to trust that they're going to be well fed and that they're going to have enough time to eat the food that they receive and that they're going to like the food that they're going to like it. They're going to consume most of what they're served. So anytime that we can have interactions with parents, whether it's through newsletters or personal interactions with parents, it's a good thing. And it helps to build trust. We've done a lot of work for the past 10 years in really trying to be at we have an academy night where families come and meet teachers and go into the classroom and see what's happening. And we will have something in the cafeteria as well, where we might be making kale chips or some other event so that the parents can meet some of our team. They meet our chef. The kids are like, oh, this is awesome. Here's here's the people that serve us lunch. And the parents meet us and they get to know that we are big people and that we really are invested in caring for their children. And
is this one campus this is happening at?
This particular event happens at our youngest school, our primary school, which is like pre-K to grades 3. Yeah. So, but different things like that. We do an after school cooking club so that with kids, and then when the parents pick up their kids, they also get to meet us. It's like just building trust, building relationships so that they know if we say we're doing a tasting with a shishito pepper or making bulgogi bowl or we're making something from scratch, the trust adds validity to what we're doing. They believe us when we say we're using locally grown produce or local beef or whatever. We've built that foundation of trust. So now they trust us to feed their children during the school day. So in Maine, we're feeding all kids at no cost. We're one of 10 states in the country that are not charging students for breakfast or lunch. So any child can come to school and get a free breakfast and free lunch. But you still have to build that trust. Like families still have to know that their child will eat that meal, you know.
Time constraints. I mean, in Texas, this all happened while my kids were going to school, but you started having breakfast in class. And that wasn't a thing when I was going to school. You either ate breakfast before the first period or you didn't eat at all, right?
Yeah. So, right. You either ate at home, ate before school in the cafeteria, but not in the classroom.
Is that something that y'all are doing?
Yeah, we are at several of our schools. I think 4 of our 6 schools we're doing some version of breakfast in the classroom where kids can come and pick up a breakfast. Either we have some schools where we go door to door, like during their kind of homeroom period, and kids can come out, get a breakfast, and take it back in the classroom. Sometimes kids come through the door and can select a breakfast off a cart as they're coming into the building. Lots of different things. 2 of our schools still serve traditional breakfast in the cafeteria at breakfast time, but it's still fast and furious. There are time constraints. Like everybody wants a piece of that 6 to 6.5
Like phys ed,
hour.
right? Like this
Yeah. There's music,
competition for all
there's
that.
art, there's history, there's math, there's, language arts. There's all of these things. And somewhere in there, lunch has to get in there too. And now breakfast too. It's a lot.
So to build on what you mentioned, obviously, I mean, 3,300 stomachs, that's a ton of people to be responsible for.
Yeah.
But I think you admittedly said, compared to a Houston school district, big difference. Is what you're doing scalable?
Yeah, it is scalable.
Is
and
that something y'all are talking to or working with
I
folks
mean,
with?
there's districts across the country that are scaling this up. It's kind of, I used to wonder, I visited some large city schools, Philadelphia, Boston, and it's really a numbers game. We have a team of about 30. There's, in Boston or Philadelphia or, Denver,
30 is
Aurora.
administration, procurement, like everybody that would take to run the
Yes.
program.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like a lot of people, but it's not for that many students.
No, not for that many students, but we have added staff since Healthy School Meals for All in the state of Maine. We've added staffing at all of our schools just because we are feeding so many more kids. It's busier. We are committed to a mostly scratch cook operation. It takes hands, it takes hands, it takes creativity. It's a lot of work. But I believe that it's scalable. I think that there are great minds in this country. School meals across the country, we feed 30 million school lunches a day.
Wow.
And close to 15 million breakfasts a day. So that's 45 million meals a day.
It's incredible.
And that translates to 4.9 billion lunches. And I'm not even sure how many breakfasts, but it's a lot of meals. We are the biggest restaurant in this country. School meals are the biggest restaurant in this country. And fresh fruits and vegetables play such an important part of that. We're required to serve fruits and vegetables on every meal, breakfast and lunch. We can serve vegetables at breakfast, but at lunch, we are required to serve fruits and vegetables. And the farther committed to fresh fruits and vegetables that we get, the more that's what our students want.
Yeah.
Like if you give them fresh broccoli, they don't want to go back to frozen broccoli. I mean, we do use frozen broccoli from time to time, but they really prefer fresh.
That's interesting.
And they consume it. So if we really want to get ahead of, the waste part that you referenced earlier, is you really want to feed kids what they like to eat. And once you found the ticket, like the thing that they like, do they like carrot fries, roasted carrots that you're calling carrot fries, or fresh carrots, or, do they want frozen carrots, that you've steamed? Whichever product they want is what you want to be serving them so that they'll eat the most of it.
For sure. Well, we're bumping up against our time, but I've got a ton of notes that we're not going to get through. Hopefully we can in the future, but I wanted to ask you about Tips for School Meals that Rock. What's that about?
So, Tips for School Meals that Rock is a Facebook group that has close to 40,000 members. It is a group for school nutrition professionals. You can be a cook, or you could be a dishwasher, you could be a director. Anyone can join this group and learn, it's really a networking group where people can say, oh my gosh, I have all of this XYZ. I got all of this commodity product, or I've got, carrots coming out my ears. What can I do with them that will be great, that my children will like? Or, I have this new issue. What is the best way to deal with this? And it's crowdsourcing, really. It's networking and crowdsourcing. So,
So is the product being transferred or simply just
No,
working on utilization?
really idea sharing.
Okay.
It's really idea sharing and sharing recipes, sharing forms, sharing like graphics, things like that to help market your program. Sometimes it's a place to just give your own program a shout out, like, look at this lunch that we made, like it's a great place to come and say, this is what we're doing in our program. And then people can say, oh, can I get that recipe? Or I have this issue and I need to know how to strategize it. Has anybody come up against this problem before? So you've got 40,000 people who work in school nutrition who are willing to say, oh, you know what, that happened to me last year. And let me tell you what I did and share it with
Best practices.
best practices. Yeah, it's really been a great place for school nutrition people to kind of hang out across the country. Like it's very common for people to connect with people, people in Maine to connect with people in Texas or California or Idaho or Iowa. It doesn't matter where you're from because everybody's coming together in a Facebook space in a group. And, we have very, very few rules, but one is to be nice and be respectful because social media can be the opposite these days. But, we just be nice, be respectful. We're all professionals and
The motivation has to be pure.
And we're all here really to feed children and to better the lives of children so that they are well nourished and ready to learn because kids are the future. You know what? They're going to be taking this off our hands someday and we really want them to be ready to do it.
As I was reading your bio, Ed formulated a question, which I already think I know the answer to, but your background, you worked in institutional environments as well before. And so my question was going to be, how did you know K-12 was where your passion is at? But you're clearly very passionate about it. I don't think it's probably a huge...
Really, this happens to so many professionals, but I came to K-12 for work-life balance, but I really found my calling here. I just really... It's funny that I didn't know because when I was as young as middle and high school, I was having like cooking clubs of my own in the town where I lived, and kids would come and learn how to cook recipes in my home, things like that. And I think it brought me full circle to really understanding how influencing children to eat better at a young age is really the key to improving the lives of children, to improving our future, to improving the health of our future, and to making sure that, kids become creative and healthy eaters in the future when they become adults, when they're making their own food choices, that they're going to make correct food choices.
Well, I'm sure it hasn't been easy. Congratulations on, you've been recognized nationally for excellence in nutrition. I think it's most recently the IFPA's Produce Excellence.
Yes, Produce Excellence
and Foodservice Award.
K-12.
So
yeah, thank you.
That's pretty awesome. Which makes it fun, right? I'm sure you're not doing it for the pat on the back, but at least having some affirmation that you're working in the right direction. That doesn't hurt.
It's great. The things that I love are when parents really call me and say, can I have that recipe? Or thank you for, opening my child's eyes to eating roasted asparagus. Or, when a colleague or a peer comes to me and says, will you mentor me and help me to figure this out? Because that's the great thing about school nutrition is, I can't steal customers from the neighboring district. So we really and that's really what's behind our Tips for School Meals That Rock, is really to elevate each other so that all kids can experience
everybody wins
the best school nutrition program so that everybody wins.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Jeanne, thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
You've motivated us late in the day where we might be fading or were fading a little bit.
End of the
Give
conference.
me some motivation. Yeah. we've actually have one more interview with Kathy after this, which
Oh,
is
great.
always fun.
Yeah,
She's awesome.
She's full of energy.
Yeah, full of
Yeah,
energy.
yeah.
Exactly. That was going to be one of my questions. Like, how does she do it? I see her like the road runner. Like, I'll see her over here and then see her over there.
I know.
It's
I
pretty
know.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's a skill for sure.
She's
but
a Mainer.
yeah.
I don't know if she's really a Mainer, but she went to the University of Maine.
So we've interviewed Kathy a bunch of times at
Yeah,
these shows, but
yeah.
it's always been about the show, the results, the people. And last year at the global show, we try to make it more about her. I think people deserve and would want to know more about her. She's a great story. Worked in retail, and yeah, she's a Mainer.
Yeah, she graduated. That's great.
Well, thank you. Enjoy
Thank
the rest
you
of the
so
show.
much.
We're going to try to make it on the floor for a few minutes before the end of the day. But again, congratulations on all the work that you've done.
Thank you.
Hopefully somebody will be inspired by listening to your story, and it'd be hard not to be. You're making me hungry after
You
talking
guys
about all
made
that
this really
food.
easy.
Well,
I was
thank you.
nervous, but you made it really easy.
Thank you for
because-
that.
I don't know. It's cool. I love
Yeah.
I love what I do. I really do love what I do. I love,
And when you do, it's easy to share. So
we're up against some really incredible challenges coming up. But you know what? School nutrition will survive. We've
Yeah.
done it before. We'll do it again. And once you get into it, it's never as bad as you think it's going to be.
sure,
Just regulation wise and things like that. But we'll make it work.
we sure
All
will.
about the kids.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you.
That's Jeanne Reilly. Cafeterias as classrooms, no shortcuts. Before we go, 3 quick takeaways. Early exposure builds lifelong healthy habits. School programs succeed when produce is front and center. Nutrition directors are allies, support them, and kids thrive. Thanks, Jeanne. Presented by Little Bear Produce. Series support: Wiggins Farms, IFPA, Little Bear Produce, Misionero, Sunfed, Bourne Farms, and the International Fresh Produce Association. Follow and share this series.